Namaskar.
Namaskar. A very good evening, studio. Can we have the a very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you to this 15th of August grand finale session of RYPEN Rotary Youth Program of Enrichment, which we are conducting under the aegis of Dr. Mayureshwar K, the District Governor of Rotary International District 3142, along with several other Rotary clubs from across India who are joining us proudly into this national RYPEN that we're conducting. We also have a lot of students who are joining us, and we have Team WNS, Team WNS Cares Foundation, Team UCMAS joining us for this initiative of enriching the lives and developing leadership qualities amongst the children. So that was about Rotary Youth Program of Enrichment, and a warm welcome once again from the proud president of Rotary Club of Thane Central. I am Advocate Saloni Gule. Today, for this valedictory session of RYPEN, which we will be concluding only albeit online from our end, but your students can continue doing it on an offline platform available to you, and our backend team will be coordinating with you so that you can have it a self-paced and a deferred program. We have a very special guest today who will be speaking to us on the subject of unity in diversity and loving coexistence. But before that, just a quick recap of what we've done thus far. We have studied emotional intelligence at the hands of Dr. Harish Shetty. Many thanks to him. Then WNS Cares Foundation led us with an initiative of Cyber Smart. Many thanks to their team as well. And then we had Mr. Keshav Murugesh, the Group CEO of WNS, joining us and guiding us on the aspect of managing aspirations, followed by a session with Dr. Shilpa Desai, who told us what a mind of a winner is really constituted of. Until now, we have developed our individual structure, individual character. But today, on the occasion of 15th of August, we all gather here today to hear right from Dr. Sarda on the aspect of unity in diversity, especially because it is a national program that we are constructing, and the theme for this RIPEN this year is bridging the distance. So through this RIPEN, we try to bridge distance on many levels, on many aspects, metaphorically thus so. We try to bridge distance with our emotional health, our intellect, our mind. We are also trying to bridge distance amidst the pandemic while interacting, though virtually, with all of you on an online platform. And now we will be bridging the distance from becoming a good individual, a successful individual, to becoming a noble and an ideal citizen. So before that, allow me the pleasure of introducing to all of you Dr. Ratan Sharda. I'm sure all of you have seen Dr. Sharda. Welcome, Dr. Sharda. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for agreeing to guide our young ripeners on this initiative. Just a small introduction about you. आप तो किसी introduction के मोहताज है नहीं, पर एक छोटी सी introduction ऐसी है. A lot of us must have seen Dr. Sada on a lot of debate channels and a lot of TV channels promoting the idea of what true nationality means. but Dr. Sharda is essentially an author and a freelance columnist. He has written about 6 books and a book on RSS. He has also done his PhD on RSS. One of his upcoming book is a book on Guru Nanak Dev. He has translated books of Guruji, apart from editing and designing 12 books ranging from cookery and files to management. He is a renowned TV personality, as we all know. And over to Dr. Sarda. Thanks again for joining with us on the subject of unity in diversity and loving coexistence. Thank you.
Thank you, Saloni. Thanks for my chance to address young minds and young people of this country. The subject itself, Vibhinnata mein ekta or unity in diversity, assumes that we are very diverse, that we are very different, and we are trying to build some kind of commonality between us, which actually is a little different from saying that we are culturally one, but we express ourselves in different ways, in different manners, though the innermost feelings, innermost cultural thread remain same and they are uniting factors. So we'll try to discover some of those aspects which generally overlook, which tells us that actually we are one, with some difference in the way we express ourselves and we celebrate the expressions. We don't say that we must have uniformity. We don't say that we should have only one kind of belief or one kind of faith. So Bharat itself is a republic of faith, first of all, which means when we say that Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, which means there is one supreme truth which scholars and knowers speak differently, that itself is an expression that we respect our people, we respect our faith, we respect different belief systems. So we are basically a republic of faith. Secondly, we are also a democrat from the very genes of this country. Chandragupta Maurya, that is 4 BC, we already had Janapadas, we had Sabhas, Samitis. This entire concept of Samitis and Sabhas and Ganapada is with us for thousands of years. So as a nation, we are not new to democracy also. So what is diverse, what is different between us? It's like saying that there are so many trees, there is such a wonderful garden with different flowers, with different fruits, but basically all of them have their roots in the same soil and we have the same sap running in our veins. If the sap dries, then there's no diversity, there is no flower, there is no fruit. So that is the basic underlying cultural sap that we all share with different expressions in our own country. To begin with, let us look at our own festivals, for example. So we believe that there is one Bihu, there is one Baisakhi, somebody celebrating Pongal or not. But the new year itself, if you look at all over India, the new year, the Poila Baishak, we talk of Gudi Padwa, all these dates fall within 10 to 7 days of each other. They are basically tied down to harvest. And all over India, from Assam to Gujarat, from Punjab, UP to South Kerala, we have the same new year with different names. So basically, it's way of celebration because in India we say that our languages change every 5 mile, every 5 courses, which is equal to every 8 miles. So those who have gone to countryside will realize as you move from one village to another district or another place in about a little time, there is some little difference in the language that we speak and the language those people speak. So within UP, you have 3, 4 kind of major languages. In Bihar, you have 2 or 3 kinds of major languages. You talk about Gujarat, you have different regions, Kutch, Junagadh, and Saurashtra and North Gujarat. They have different linguistic tones, different words. Same is true of Maharashtra. So we have around 30 recognized languages in India as scheduled language within Constitution, and there are about 2,800 languages which are spoken all over India. But the expressions, the emotions don't change. For example, we say Prabhu Premi, or in different words, we say that we love God. We don't say God fearing. This fearing the God is a Western concept. In Bharat, we don't fear the God, right? We can play with the God. So tum hi ho mata, pita tum hi ho, tum ho bandhu, sakha tum hi ho. That particular bhajan clearly says that there'll be old women playing with young Krishna. They have a Krishna's young murti in their home. Somebody will be praying Buddha, somebody will be praying Durga, somebody will be praying some other god. So depending on more inclination, we might worship different gods, but basically we are all worshiping the same supreme being. So we have a friend, philosopher, guide in God, and so we don't fear the God. Look at another expression which is true for every Indian language. We say, अरे तुमको भी याद किया था, we just remembered you and you are going to live 100 years, right? Every language, every tradition in Bharat will say the same thing. Every language include Urdu. आपकी उम्र बड़ी लंबी है, आप 100 साल के होंगे, आपको भी याद कर रहे थे. Now this expression is not there in English. What is the English expression? Think of the devil and he is there or she is there. So the looking of the relationship itself is diverse, and though we are living in different languages, different areas, we have same expression. For somebody whom you remember, we say he is going to live 100 years. So another way we can say that we are so close to each other in thinking. If you think of sports, there is a game called Stapu where you throw the stone in squares, then you hop over them, pick up the stone, right? Most of us play. Now this game across Bharat, right from Nagaland to Kerala, is played, and it is called different names, but rules of the games are same. There was no Olympic committee, there was no Stapu committee, and there was no rule that it should be only played by girls. But generally, this game is played by girls. There is Lagori, where you put up stones together, you throw a ball out and you break it. That is also played across India. You think of kabaddi, you think of kho. It is played only in Indian subcontinent, which is called a subcontinent, but earlier it was one country. So you have same game being played everywhere. Now come to think of it, some of you may be on the stage. So when you go to the stage, you touch the stage very reverently, right? And this is done by everybody of any religion, any faith. As you go to the stage, you have to perform. You touch the stage reverently and put your hand to your forehead. Why? Because we believe that is a sacred place where I'm going to perform. That is a stage where Goddess Saraswati resides. So we touch the stage reverently, then we go to the stage. Now, this is not the custom anywhere in the world, but in India, it is true for any custom, for any faith, any religion. One who is in drama will do this, or you worship your musical instruments. You put flowers on them, you worship them, because for us it's not just a plain music instrument. It is a vehicle to gain higher level of consciousness. So for us, drama, music is a means to achieve higher consciousness and reach the God. This is different from others who say that, okay, music is not a good idea. So this treating music and education as the same path is something unique again to Bharat, across regions, across every kind of change. I just pulled down my curtain. I'm sorry. There is too much of glare. Just a moment. I think now it's better. So these are some of the ideas. If you think of Shankaracharya, who was born about 1800 years back, he made 4 places of learning at 4 corners of Bharat. So one is South Sringeri, one is Dwarka on the west, you have Jagannath Puri on the east, and you have Joshimath near Badrinath in north. So he knew Bharat. He knew, coming from Kerala, he knew what is the geography of Bharat. So it is not a new country. It is not a country born on 15th August 1947. It's an ancient, continuously living civilization. So the great sage at that time decided to have these centers of learning at all the 4 centers of Bharat. So similarly, if I'll talk of another tradition, the young people may not know this because they go to supermarket. But if you ask your parents or go with your parents to roadside vegetable shop or roadside baniya, what if it is not a pre-packed good? When we waste that particular vegetable, your mother or your sister will ask to put something extra, right? Or he will put something extra after weighing. What is that idea? Again, this idea is only common in old Bharat or Indian subcontinent, as we call it. That is because we treat our business as our sacred dharma. We do it as per dharma or rule of law, not religion, but rule of law, moral ethics. So if there is a mistake, suppose I was supposed to give 1 kg, but by some mistake maybe 990 gram. So I am putting something extra. So if there is any error, the error should be on my side. The customer should not pay for it. This is typically Indian emotion across Bharat without any difference. You go anywhere, you'll find the same thing. Similarly, treating water and giving somebody water and support is taken as our basic duty. So if you go to north, there is a story that one of our pracharaks tells. he went to Assam and he drinks only black tea. So he carries a tea bag. So when the tea was being made, he said, "You can make me a black tea." Offered the tea bag. So when the after the tea was over, four people had taken tea. That lady had a long argument. So he asked, "What's the argument?" He didn't know the language. So his friends told that actually lady is refusing to take money for the water or the black tea given because she says, "I didn't prepare the tea. I cannot charge for it." The same thing happened to him when he went to Madhya Pradesh. So this culture of not exploiting somebody just because he's a customer, or when you go to a restaurant and a beggar comes, the owner of the hawker of that particular cart will tell you not to give anything because the person has come to his shop or her shop, and that person is supposed to be served by this shop owner, not you. So this sense of ownership, this sense of kinship with the customer and treating him as something higher than the service that is offering, this is again typically Indian trade. So when you say there is diversity, here you find there is no cultural diversity. You think of Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela started, I don't know, thousands of years back. We don't have any count. It is based on some Puranic stories. So there is a particular solar day when this is celebrated on 4 different places in Bharat. So it is celebrated in Prayag, Haridwar, Ujjain, and Nasik. So this particular day, which comes every 4 years in overall, but every 12 is in one particular place, this is celebrated across Bharat, and everybody from all over India comes there without any advertisement, without any marketing. It is not that somebody from Bihar or UP will say, "I'll only go to Prayag," or somebody from Gujarat, he will say, "I will just go to Nasik." No, people from all over India, people of all faith, whether Vaishnavas, Shaivas, or even Buddhas at earlier time, Jainas, they would go to those Kumbh Melas to exchange ideas with the great scholars and take holy bath there. So this exchange of scholars or ideas was happening in 4 different parts of Bharat without any marketing, advertisement, without any kind of difference in way how it is done. So this particular practice that everybody from all over Bharat follows is again shows that we were culturally one. So think of Jyotirlinga. We have 12 Jyotirlinga which are right from south to north to Somnath to west to east side. That is so all these 12 Jyotirlingas, whether the last one that side, all these 12 Jyotirlingas are across Bharat, and everybody wants to complete all the darshan of all the 12 Jyotirlingas. Not only that, people from Rameshwaram are supposed to carry the water and do abhishek on Kashi Vishwanath, and people from UP Bihar are supposed to carry water from Ganga to Rameshwaram to abhishek to offer abhishek to Rameshwaram Shivaling. How did it happen? Did anybody impose a law? Was there any law? Was there any written rule? Nothing. It is just continuous old thousand-year tradition that we are following, which shows that we have the same kind of understanding of faith or culture. Another example. Then we worship nature. Across Bharat, we worship rivers, whether it's Himalaya, whether it's South Kaveri. We worship a river as some goddess. Why? Because of river we get water. Because of river our farms get water, and because of that we live. So our living is depending on nature. So we worship mountains, hills, rivers, and we worship the ground that we walk on. When you do Bhumi Puja is not some hocus pocus or some superstition. What is Bhumi Puja basically? Any person following any faith does this Bhumi Puja. Why does it? Because we are digging into Mother Earth and we worship Mother Earth because she is one who is allowing us to live a good life. So we seek her forgiveness because we have to dig into her to settle my home or do farming. This is something unique to Bharat. So it is not, we don't call it groundbreaking ceremony, we call it Bhumi Pujan. Pujan is there. So the reverence of nature, reverence of all our people, our natural elements, all the 5 elements tells us that we have a kind of culture which truly believes in diversity, which truly believes in our close link with nature. We don't say that we will exploit nature. We say we will milk the nature because we believe that the God has given us this nature. The supreme being is the expression. Nature is expression of supreme nature, and when we worship it, we are worshiping the supreme God. Now, this reverence is not out of blind faith. This reverence is out of knowledge because without this, we cannot have a balanced life. We cannot have a worthwhile life. It is proven when we look at that, we were doing agriculture for last at least 6,000 recorded years. We had nearly 1900 types of rice and we had hundreds type of wheats. But because we had organic farming, because we had a natural kind of preservation of farms, where we would have fallow land, we would not farm all the land. This habit of ours kept our lands alive. But what happens when West takes over? West treats the earth shabbily. They have chemicals, they have inorganic chemicals, pesticides. So in a few years, you have to keep on adding more pesticides. You keep on adding more inorganic manure, and finally, your lands are about to become arid. They are about to become salty. When farmers are committing suicide, is not because there is some problem with production, because land is demanding more and more chemicals, because chemicals have spoiled the balance of the land. This again shows that we had much better understanding of our culture, of our geography. So this is another example which is true for anybody across Bharat. Then we have this sense of karma. Anybody who is born in Bharat, whether he becomes Christian or whether he becomes Muslim or he has become, but they also believe that sense of karma. It was done recent, Pew Research tells us that this principle karma is believed in majority of Muslims and Christians and also Hindus, because we believe we have to suffer the consequences of our action. There is no supreme God is not going to take care of our mistakes. Just as we cut a tree and we lose a green tree, just as we pollute the river and we suffer, God is not going to correct it. We have to correct it. So our actions define what are we are going to bear fruit. This is the idea of karma. So we don't depend on a supreme power that we will make a mistake and supreme power is supposed to correct our problems. No, it has we. So sense of responsibility of our action is again something that has been given to the world by us. Karma, the principle of karma is followed by the world over. This is another example how, despite looking different, despite having different ways of thinking, apparently, but innermost feeling of ours are same, our spirit of existence is same. We talk of Vijayadashmi, right? Navratri. Navratri in Gujarat is celebrated with Durga Puja, with Garba, and we say that somebody celebrating Navratri, somebody in Bengal is celebrating Durga Puja, but it is manifestation of the same 9 days of prayers, the same 9 days of worshipping the God in different form. So whether it's Durga Puja, whether it's Navratri, whether Ramlila in south, sorry north, and whether it is Narkasur Vadh in south, where Krishna is supposed to have killed Narkasur, while in north he says that Ram killed Ravan. So same day, different way of looking at it, and we celebrate those days. So this unity in this diversity base is basically manifestation of the same unity, which we celebrate differently and we enjoy the difference. We don't say that everybody must follow certain rules, everybody must follow one particular God, everyone must follow particular language. No, we respect all languages, we respect all cultures. We might make jokes of it, but ultimately we have that strong sense of filiality. So when we go to Kerala, we go to Guruvayur, we know it's Krishna. We know that when you go to Kanyakumari, it's Durga. When southern Bharat people come to north, they know Vaishno Devi is also a manifestation of Durga. So looking at God in different forms without getting confused, people get confused, outsiders. We don't get confused. So this supreme being worshipped in various forms across India with different names. Now south we worship Murugan, which is Kartik, yeah, elder brother of Ganapati. Ganapati is celebrated in north also, south also, but in north you will not find much of celebration of Murugan. So this is typically culture. But when you look at deep down, it is the same culture, it is the same sense of oneship that we see all through. If you look at Mahabharata, we say that okay, this is something artificial. No, in Mahabharata, there is a mention of Tripura king fighting the Mahabharata war. Krishna's queen Rukmini had come from Arunachal Pradesh. There is Mishmi tribe which believes that this lady, belonged to that tribe. Hidamba, the wife of Bhima, was also from the tribe of Arunachal Pradesh. So this sense of oneness across Bharat, you had people from south, king from south, Tamil Nadu, who had appeared in Mahabharat war. We had King Kandhar, today's Kandahar, that's a Gandhar, from when Gandhari came, who was mother of Kauravas. She was from Gandhar. So our nation, with all the diversities, right from Gandhar, Afghanistan, down to Myanmar, and from Nepal down to Kerala and Kanyakumari, has same culture, has same sense of oneness, has same habits, and same looking at nature, looking at your music, looking at drama, and enjoying every aspect of life without feeling that we are different. So this is the sense of balance. This is the sense of unity in diversity that we talk of, and this is why, despite all the differences, despite all the fractious politics we see, we remain one, because deep in our heart we know that we are one. So that is the reason we have union of states. We don't have alliance or contract. We don't have states coming together as contract. They are there as a part of Bharat because we know we are together. So when we celebrate the 75th year of independence, we have to understand that from independence we have to move to Swatantra. We have to look at methodologies and systems which are Indian, which have roots in Bharat. We had management system. Now today people are teaching Arthashastra from Chanakya, 4 BC to people. There are people who are specialized in Tirukural, Tiruvallur, who has got wonderful management principles. There is a series of lectures going on in Tamil Nadu. Just these days I heard, which is going on. There is already 10 series of lecture, and still there are more scholars who want to speak on that. People espouse management principles from Gita. This particular deep knowledge is where our strength lies. So as we look at our country, we don't say that we are 75 years old. We say 75 years of freedom. But from freedom, we have to move to Swaraj, where we will generate our own institutions, our own systems based on our own wisdom, our own scriptures, our own deep knowledge of science, technology, philosophy, which is unique to Bharat. So this is how I define my unity in diversity, or rather, diversity defined in unity. With this, I close my remarks, and I hope this puts the point across very well. If anybody has any questions, or anybody wants to put in more views, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Sarda. It was really exhaustive and really throwing light. I must highlight one comment that one of our viewer has pressed. He is also the project advisor for this one. Past District Governor Alok Billore ji from Madhya Pradesh remarks that great ethos of our country highlighted, reminding us the common acts which have been adopted as practice in routine life. Thank you once again on behalf of all those who are joining us in creating in this activity. I have just one query, Dr. Sada. In today's time, we see children being overboard by what nationality looks at, where the sense of belonging lies, and are caught up in the chase of achieving something for their own self. There has been a time or an era in the history of our country, in the history of Bharat, that we see all of us had joined together into a common objective of achieving India's freedom, perhaps, or even the historical, challenges that we have achieved in the past. There was a synergy that was created amongst them. So today we also see children shying away from taking up civil duties and opting for some private jobs, private offers, or traveling abroad. Rather, traveling abroad is another challenge, a challenge of brain drain that India is facing. I would really request you to address us on that.
See, before I talk about that our young children should know that our fight for independence and fight for our own selfhood began as soon as the invaders invaded Bharat, right from the Mughals' time, Turkish times, to the British. The first, now as we discover more and more history, the first war of independence not even was 1857. It was 1751 when Battle of Kolachal was fought in Kerala by Martanda Varma, and he defeated mighty Dutch. It was such a big defeat that Dutch could never recover. And then continuously all through, the foreigners never had a peaceful life in Bharat. There was continuous resistance. This sense of pride that we never gave up. That's the reason we survived. All over the world, wherever colonies went, their traditions vanished, their culture vanished. It did not vanish in our case, despite such nearly 800 years continuous invasions, continuous oppression. So this is the strength of Bharat. Unfortunately, in our schools, we are taught that our nation was not a one nation. It was one nation because British brought us together. Then it was a colony, and we had no culture, we had no knowledge. In our schools, even today, we do not know that in 1800th century we had 23% of the world GDP. We do not know that we had the best possible astronomical model. When Galileo was punished for saying that Earth is round, we already had defined solar system, we had defined our time, we had defined our element of time, the how Earth revolves, how Sun revolves on Earth, and there are millions of galaxies. Even Krishna says in Gita, there are billions and billions of infinite galaxies. Now, this, whether it came from scientific temper, whether it came from meditation and sixth eye, we do not know. But this entire idea of Kana, Kanad Rishis, basically when you talked about atom. And as quantum physics gets more and more deeper into it, they realize all this is part of our Upanishads, all part of our Vedantas, and they say that I have to understand quantum physics, I must meditate. So the strength of Bharat, or if you look at metallurgy, we had the best possible wood steel. We had mastered the technology of manufacturing aluminum, which was not easy because aluminum freezes as soon as you melt it or evaporates. So this entire cotton, for example, Dhaka Malmal was so thin that when Orange's daughter wore 6 layers of Malmal and came to the assembly, people were stunned. They said, "What is this? She's not wearing anything." So this fine cloth for which Europe died, in fact, they nearly got bankrupt. For spices, the European countries ended up transferring all the wealth to Bharat. Our ships were supposed to be better than any other ships. These are all documented facts. I am not making them up. So I would request youth to read 2 books of Dharampal, which are available on the net, which disappeared as soon as because they were not supposed to be politically correct. So Dharampal ji was a Gandhian who went to USA for 6 years. He researched the documents of British rule, and he got all these facts together. For example, we had the best possible education system in which all OBC, SC, ST, so-called upper caste, everybody was studying. In Calcutta, there are 1 lakh schools, 100,000, which means one school for 500 students. At that time, what is the student population of UK? You know that 55,000 totally.
Oh,
And then you look at our technology I talked about. We had mobile refineries, like we not many people know this, but if you have asked your mother, they will tell you there was the alumina put on the brass utensils called kali karana. So the track allowed come with a small oven and he will do the kali for a bartan. This was even a mobile, that mobile refinery where they would refine iron for the requirement of the particular village and move on. So these skills of ours are so supreme. We could build wonderful temples. We talk of Taj Mahal, but much before that, 4 BC, 10 BC, we have huge temples in the south which are preserved because there are less attack of Mughals in north and nearly lost all the temples. But those supreme temples, the huge temples, think of Ellora. Not many youth have visited Ellora. Ellora was built over 200 years, which means there were at least 10 generations who went through this whole project. There is not one error. Try offering a project to any team in Rotary itself, and you change the project halfway, and you see the chaos. So this wonderful project management. If you go to Bhopal, there is a Shiva temple where there are drawings made on the stones near the temple. Now, this beauty of a technology, trigonometries, as our Bij Ganit, our various algebraic formula. There is a book called Leelavati. What is Leelavati? Bhaskaracharya wanted to educate his daughter, so he wrote entire mathematics and equivalent theorems in Leelavati, so she could solve riddles. That is called Leelavati. We don't know. So if our students are not taught about this wonderful knowledge system, this wonderful science and technology, they have to move ahead. But they should at the same time, if I can learn mathematics better with Vedic mathematics, if I know that, okay, this trigonometry was already there, I am just going ahead with that. You may have to keep on talking Pythagoras, but if I say I had nothing to offer except casteism, then my mind gets corrupted. I feel there is nothing in this country for me. It's a poor, wretched country which has nothing but casteism and exploiting the widows and all that. So once we know that we have something great to offer to the world, the same youth will feel so proud and patriotic. They will say, "I have to do something for the society." Why these people? Some other people came during last 7 years because they believe they can offer something. When outsiders give respect, when the CERN Atomic Research Center, you have Nataraja as the presiding deity on the gate. So what is Nataraja? It is not just dancer show, it is a balance of universe. But unless these things are taught to our students, they will not really understand the rich heritage we have. And then the sense of inferiority, they have nothing to offer. We are poor, wretched society, which was ruled by so many people because we had nothing. We had no technology, science, wealth. So what are we doing here? So let us go to USA. But once they know this sense of pride is what will keep them back. Why Japanese go back to Japan after studying? Why do Chinese go back after studying? Because they know my civilization has to offer much more. I will get educated outside, but I'll return. This is where I think the roots are. Once we get roots strong in our education system or by organizations like you, then youth will have a different perspective of our country.
Wonderful. In fact, you told us how Sanskriti is built out of the Srushti itself.
Yes.
The entire culture is built out of the environment, the culture,
Because culture is not the word. Sanskrit is much deeper than culture. Culture is of some rituals and all. It is much more than that. But for the lack of language, because English is a very poor language, we know that. You ask a child to go through the alphabets of Devanagari, she will never make a mistake in life. What you read is what you speak. What you write is what you speak. But in English, when you tell CAT cat and GAT get, the poor child gets confused. C A K C as K. My granddaughter gets confused. So when we weigh down our minds of a young children with the language is not there, while we have much superior language, that is where the mind stops working to the full capacity.
In fact, on that, I would also like to press before our young ripeners a lot of foreign languages, of course, Indian languages, that goes without saying. A lot of foreign languages also find their influence in the language Sanskrit, which
Yes.
itself is called as mother of all languages. So the
Yes,
the
there is
science behind the
doing a
language is
research. A Polish scholar was doing a research. He found 1,000 common words between Polish language and Sanskrit.
G. G. It is even German language, so many languages. We have so much of commonality, and we see that we are united in principle and also principally united. हम एकता तत्वों में है और तत्वों से हमारी एकता है. तो it is about time that all of us learn to embrace this unity in its true spirit, not just in the name of sitting the same table, but perhaps one could sit in the way their culture approves of, one could sit in a way their culture approves of, but end of the day embrace that Sanskriti, because it is not befitting anybody's own pocket, but befitting your own cultural, your own social, your own intellectual, and perhaps even spiritual development of a child and even one entity. And Dr. Sada, you might be intrigued, while Rotary Club of Thane Central curated this event. We thought of we went through a lot of Rotary literature, I must confess to you, when we understood Rotary Youth Program of Enrichment. But end of the day, it comes to us, and then we come to believe we also have our immediate past president, Neeta Palani ji, commenting and welcoming you to our club initiative. But it is also true that end of the day we realize it is nothing but a westernized concept of Indian spirit, Indian concept of sanskar, westernized interpretation of the Indian concept of sanskar. This quality of sanskar classes or sanskar
If you
system.
talk about it, just to interrupt you, we don't call it charity, we call it seva. So the
Yes.
Bharati concept is seva, it is not charity. We are not doing anybody a favor, as Swami Vivekananda said. He said God is doing a favor by offering you chance to serve that poor man. So they said Daridra Narayan. So Daridra is Narayan. So that is what Swami Vivekananda also said. So it's a seva, not charity.
हमारे नारायण हमारी दृष्टि जैसे है वैसे आके खड़े रहते हैं, बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने. So with that, this is how we ended up curating. This is the second time in a row that we are curating RYPEN again, and we hope and we seek your blessings that we continue doing so, even if it is just a 2 weeks activity. Ordinarily, we all know at our homes there is a tiny sanskar work at everybody's home at 7 p.m. in the evening, when we light the lamp before or the god, and then our grandparents especially would ask us to recite the tables, to recite the prayers, and then wish for the well-being of the family members. So this is sense of sanskar,
Great
even.
initiative. I compliment Rotary Club for doing this initiative. I think it's a wonderful way because youth are waiting to come back to roots. The parents are waiting to come back to roots. They just want some light. So you lighted the lamp. I am sure people will return back to their roots.
and with people and luminaries like you joining our dais, our platform, the light becomes, it just doesn't stay a single lamp, but it becomes a lighthouse in itself. We hope we can help in resonating the roots, calling the people back to home, and also strengthening the entire community, the entire world together in this process, because rightly so our culture teaches us Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that this world is one country, one space, one nation. So with that sentiment, I once again express my heartfelt gratitude and
Thank you so much.
appreciation
Very
for
much.
all this exhaustive. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, something very important. I must thank, since we are on the valedictory session, few important announcements, that we must thank Rotary District Governor of Rotary District 3142, Dr. Mayuresh Warke, along with his entire new generation team, be it past President Sucheta Rege, past President Manoranjan and Gupta, or Dr. Lucky Kasset for that matter. All of them have been an immense guiding force. We also express our gratitude to my own home club members who have been strong supporters. Past President Sanjay Bhoyer, the convener for the program, and past President Sheetal Thorat, the co-convener for the program. I also thank all the club members of Rotary Club of Thane Central and all other club members who are joining us. Also, many thanks to the team members for RYPEN from Rotary Club of Thane Central, from other clubs, also few volunteers outside, Suchit, Mansi, Ullas, and my own freelance team, Orange Elephant. They have been soundly handling the technical backend for us without giving us any hassle and ensuring this entire free passage happens. So thank you very much, Sony, Ashish, Jobin, for on behalf of Orange Elephant. Please accept our gratitude. I also thank the project coordinator, who has been a one-man army, past President Anurag Mittal from Rotary Club of Chandosi City Star, and past District Governor Alok Billore, who has been a strong project advisor to us. I must thank a solid team of lot of Rotary clubs across: Rotary Club of Vasco Port from RID 3170, Rotary Club of Jabalpur South RID 3261, RCC Hallmark RID E3232, RC Rourkela Central RID E3261, RID E3232's Interact team, Rotary Club of Aurangabad Metro. Special mention to the serving president Mona Bhumkarji, and also to their senior member Mr. Chaudhary ji. Many thanks for your solid support. Rotary Club of Chennai Chola, we thank you, Rotarian Sainathan, for your support, and all the club members. The Rotary Club of Coimbatore, Rotary Club of Garden Reach, Rotary Club of Guwahati Smart Art City, Rotary Club of Hubli Midtown, Rotary Club of Madras T Nagar, Rotary Club of Gurgaon Passion, Rotary Club of Chandosi City Star, Rotary Club of Bangalore Raj Mahal Villas, Rotary Club of Ghaziabad Greens, Rotary Club of Hassan Hoisla, Rotary Club of Vishakha Centennial, Rotary Club of Pune Kalyani Nagar. Also, gratitude to the immediate past president of Rotary Club of Pune Kalyani Nagar, Rotary Club of Mudbirri, Rotary Club of Vadodara 1, the president Kalpa, Rotary Club of Udhyana supporters, Rotary Club of Alabang Madriagal Business Park, Rotary International District 3830 from Philippines. It has been a long journey, and we all have been extensively joyed by curating this entire process for all of you young ripeners. I'm sure the young ripeners are enjoying the process and will accomplish the entire project in their own pace, their own speed. Even if we are concluding the live session from now, the live delivery, the backend team is continuously available to support you on the Telegram channel that is there, where you all of you are pooled up. You will be getting your certificates once you conclude all the activities and watching all the sessions, because even if it is self-paced, you do not get certificates until you complete the program. I am confident young ripeners do that. Once again, many thanks to all the support clubs. We must mention our gratitude to WNS Cares Foundation, their lead CSR Gazala, and most importantly, honorary chief mentor Mrs. Murugesh, Mrs. Shamini Murugesh, Team UCMAS, and special thanks to Dr. Snehal Karia for his support. With that, I'm signing off for the last time. Bye bye. Have a good time and happy Independence Day. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.